Hi everyone, welcome to Friday Farsight. I'm your host Sheldon Bacody, and this week's topic is pretty straightforward. We're talking about holographic televisions. So just a consumer device, there's not a whole lot of setup for this one. The one thing I wanted to mention is that the technology is fairly complex around it, and the prediction itself in the database kind of glides over it. It's something I noticed when I was working on the script for the podcast. So I did some research and built out the podcast script a little bit. What I'll say about the prediction is that it was done last August with a model called Claude 4. And since then, on the Strategic Farsight website, we've upgraded to Claude 4.5 and given the model some more budget. So we get more verbose predictions now. And so I think that's great. In a way, it's a lot to consume when you do a prediction now compared to the earlier predictions. And I haven't felt the need to replace some of these older ones. I think that they still seem to present a pretty convincing timeline. But I imagine that over time we'll replace some of these older predictions as we get better runs. With that, we can get into the show. Remember that AI cannot be wholly trusted, so take all of this just as a fun glimpse at a consumer product that may be arriving in our living room soon. All right, guys, you're on.
Sure.
Cool. I think I'm ready.
Wow. Imagine this, Betty. A TV where the images just float right there in your living room. No glasses, no headset, just pure volumetric 3D.
Biff, you're talking about true holographic television. And this week on Friday Farsight, we're diving deep into Strategic Farsight's prediction that these beauties are going to hit the mainstream by, get this, 2042. Plus or minus 8 years.
Yeah, 2042, which sounds, futuristic enough to be cool, but also, just around the corner. My mind immediately went to Star Wars, Leia's message to Obi-Wan. Is that what we're talking about? Because that feels like pure sci-fi.
It's exactly what we're talking about, Biff. That dream of images floating in space. Now, this isn't your old stereoscopic 3D TV, which, died a rather ungraceful death back in the 2010s. True holographic displays are way more complex.
Right, because those old 3D TVs, they just showed two slightly different images, one for each eye, right? Gave me a headache half the time anyway.
Precisely. Holography, though, is manipulating light waves to recreate the interference patterns our eyes would naturally see from a real 3D object. The display has to generate a different image for every single possible viewing angle simultaneously. It's pretty ambitious stuff.
Now, hold on a second. Holograms floating in midair sounds futuristic, but aren't companies already selling holographic displays? From what I've seen, from marketing videos at least, they look pretty good. Could we really be that far off from what you're talking about?
Current displays are different in several ways. First, they emit light from within a solid or semi-solid medium, like liquid crystal. Second, they render just a subset of the possible viewing angles, numbering in the dozens. And finally, they render only color, not the phase information of light scattering off a 3D object.
I was with you up until phase information. I seem to, have gotten through life pretty good so far without it. 4K is working just fine for me. Why do I need phase information?
Well, for a true 3D image, one that tricks your eye into seeing a solid object, you need to construct what they call the full wavefront of light coming off the object. By exactly reproducing the light waves that would normally exist, you let the eye not only see the object from different angles, but also, if the technology is perfected, your eyes could even focus at different depths within the scene, just like in the real world.
Wow. This is sounding even harder than I thought. You have all this data, like phase, brightness, color, and then back to what you said about every possible viewing angle. That's got to take some computing power. I mean, today people still pay thousands of dollars for gaming PCs that just render one angle.
You are absolutely on the right track there, Biff. Ramesh Raskar, a researcher at MIT, he's estimating that a 4K holographic display would need roughly 1,000 1,000 times more processing power than current high-end GPUs. We're talking 10 to the 15th calculations per second.
A quadrillion calculations per second. My brain just like short-circuited trying to comprehend that. Moore's law, it's great and all, but
Well, that's where the breakthroughs come in, Biff. Researchers at MIT and Facebook Reality Labs are working on something called neural holography. They're using AI and deep learning to generate holograms, and it's drastically reducing the computational requirements, like by orders of magnitude.
AI, the magic wand, right? Just wave it and poof, quadrillions of calculations disappear. I'm a little skeptical on that front, Betty, but go on.
Not disappearing, Biff, but being optimized. Though early, these optimizations show immense promise for real-time rendering. And then there's the hardware itself. Spatial light modulators, or SLMs, are the key. But they need pixel pitches smaller than visible light wavelengths, like tiny, tiny.
Pixel pitches. Pretend I didn't understand what you just said.
The distance between two pixels. We need displays with 20 to 30 times higher resolution density than current commercial SLMs.
Okay, so like making pixels so small, they're practically invisible to the naked eye. That's a manufacturing nightmare, isn't it?
It is a significant challenge, but companies like Samsung are already publishing patents for nanopixel holographic displays using metamaterial arrays. They were serious about the R&D, listing holographic displays as a 2040-plus technology goal in their own roadmaps.
So the tech giants are like lining up for this. But, who wants it? Remember 3D TV? It was supposed to be the next big thing, and then crickets.
That's a fair point, Biff, but this is different. Unlike previous display upgrades, holographic TVs are a paradigm shift, though they will require entirely new content creation pipelines and distribution infrastructure. The motivation is huge. Think about the metaverse push. Meta, Apple, Google, Microsoft, they're investing billions in spatial computing.
The metaverse. The place you go to buy NFTs of cute little
Crickets. But I guess you mean something bigger here, not just, watching Avatar 2.0 in your living room. There's all the tech being thrown at real-world perception, like self-driving cars or augmented reality for factory jobs. It's about, like, living inside the screen.
Exactly. It's not just consumer tech. The military and medical sectors are already looking at these for training, simulation, surgery. There are early adopters willing to pay those premium prices, before it becomes mainstream. David Fatal, a researcher from HP Labs, he puts it perfectly, saying, consumer holographic displays are an engineering problem, not a physics problem, meaning they're inevitable given sufficient time and investment.
See, Betty, that's where I put on my skeptic hat. Engineering problems sounds great and all, but Dr. Michael Bovey from MIT, he's on the other side of that. He warns that true holographic TV might need, quote, physics breakthroughs we can't yet envision.
He has a strong counterpoint. He's talking about the enormous information density requirements and potential thermodynamic limits on compact holographic processors.
Totally. I mean, can we even fit the required computing power into a device that sits in your living room without it, like, melting down or needing its own power plant? Plus content. Who's making all this holographic content? Creating stereoscopic 3D was hard enough. This sounds exponentially more complex. Instead of 2 cameras for 2 eyes, what, filming from inside the mind of God?
True, content creation will be a massive undertaking. But once the displays are there, the creators will follow. Even though volumetric capture will likely be hardware intensive, requiring dense arrays of depth sensing cameras, much of the detail, as in current CGI movies, will be computer generated with the assistance of AI. Think about it, Biff. Imagine for a moment that 2042 has arrived and you're watching a basketball game.
Sure, right. Kicking back in Aspen on royalties from this podcast. All right, I think I can see it. The entire court, just appears in my living room, scaled down, of course. I could walk around it, see every angle, feel like I'm sitting courtside or even, on the court.
You could, though apparently you'd feel some sort of tingle or even burning if you stepped right into the image.
Seriously? That sounds, unnerving, like ghosts passing through my body or something.
It's from, well, the likely technology for projecting images mid-air is lasers. Lasers rapidly scanning a volume and ionizing air molecules to create points of light called plasma voxels. Making these laser-induced plasma displays safe for consumers will require careful management of beam intensities and also secondary effects, such as airborne toxins from the materials being vaporized by the lasers.
Yikes. You're not really selling this 2042 basketball experience.
Well, the reality of a technology, when it finally arrives.
I get it. Star Wars, not Star Trek. Still, having the whole game right there, like a full motion diorama, that would be pretty cool. And imagine the video games, or even like just a character beaming into the world next to you, whether you're playing a game or not. I mean, forget about screen time. We're not going to know where entertainment stops and reality begins.
It could be a powerful medium, I agree, and not just for entertainment. Imagine holographic telepresence. Instead of a video call, your friends or your colleagues appear as full volumetric figures right there with you. It's like they're actually in the room, filling that space.
Whoa, that's a whole new level of working from home, isn't it? No more staring at tiny little faces in boxes. You could, have a virtual meeting where everyone is actually at the table.
And think about education, Beth. Learning anatomy with a full-size floating holographic human body that you can walk around and examine from any angle. Or virtual tourism, stepping into ancient Rome, truly experiencing the scale and depth of the Colosseum. It completely changes how we interact with digital information.
So, are we going to have holographic advertisements floating down the street too? Like in Blade Runner or Minority Report? Because that could get real overwhelming real fast.
Well, that's an interesting potential downside, isn't it? As with any powerful technology, we'll need to consider the societal implications, like how to manage that kind of pervasive digital presence, the privacy concerns, even the potential for digital addiction if these experiences are too immersive. But for now, the timeline suggests those initial premium models will be priced well over $50,000 between 2040 and 2042.
$50,000? Oof! So definitely not for the average Joe right away, more like for the billionaires and those well-funded medical labs you mentioned.
Precisely. It's just like flat panel TVs in the 90s, remember? They started as luxury items, only gradually becoming affordable. The prediction suggests mainstream availability under $10,000 by 2045 to 2050.
Well, Betty, whether it's 2035 or 2050, the idea of a true holographic TV is, it's pretty mind-blowing. It really makes you think about how our world will literally transform before our eyes.
Absolutely, Beth. It's a long road, but the destination? A completely new way to experience visual information.
And that wraps up this episode of Friday Farsight. Big thanks to all of you for tuning in.
If you want to dive deeper into this prediction about holographic TVs or explore hundreds of other fascinating future forecasts, head over to strategicfarsight.com.
Just a normal website, folks. No chance of burning your skin or retina. So long for now. We'll be back next week with another look into the future.